Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Grow Show. My name is Mark, and today I'm talking with Miriam Mejia at Candid Services in Austin, Texas. Miriam, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Miriam was so gracious. I actually had to reschedule that the last time we were planning on doing an interview, and she was very helpful to be willing to push that back a couple of weeks. So thank you for that. We've been really looking forward to this interview. We've done a lot of research on Candid Services. You're doing all kinds of amazing stuff. Have a beautiful family, real estate, the serious real estate investor. You've been doing Candid Services for years now. Regarding Candid, before we unpack some of the other stuff, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the kind of history of Candid Services and where you guys are at today.
Well, I started in fee management, and so I kind of just fell in love with I did a condo conversion and the side of it, and then I was like, "Oh my God, I can totally do this for myself." So I did, and I got to meet like the best subs and the best like electricians and plumbers and just all the traits and wrong did. I learned a lot, and the same original teams that started with me in 2011 are still kind of just with me. I use the same plumbers, the same electricians, the same everything for all of it. And I just kind of being in fee management, I kind of already knew different ownership groups and stuff. And then we just started doing redevelopment.
Wow. And then, so you guys are focused with Candid. You guys are focused on like renovations. I mean, everything that entails, kind of electrical work, interior painting, remodeling. Is that kind of the mix of stuff you guys are doing? Is it residential and it's for other for clients, or is it mostly at this point for your own kind of internal like investing and stuff?
Well, it's for all of it,
Okay.
all of the above now. At first, it was just for clients. Started with like painting and make readies and things like that. And then we went full on commercial redevelopment. So we would go set out for all of these like older businesses and stuff, everything from the abatement part of it for anything that was built like before 1979 and stuff. And so we just kind of gutted out and start all over again. Just fell in love with that. I love repurposing things like it's a passion. I love seeing it. I love like and then I like seeing it come to life. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to do that for many, many years now. We started in 2011.
Wow. Okay, amazing. 2011, so 14 years or so. Amazing. And then you guys do residential as well as commercial. What's kind of the mix there? How much residential kind of remodeling and working with, consumers versus, businesses or commercial?
Well, I used to do a lot more residential when we
Okay.
first started. It's really, I've been really blessed because it's been a lot of word of mouth. I just got extremely busy. So I kind of let go of the residential side. It's easier to walk in and do an entire building at a time than it is to do one home at a time.
Hmm.
I just chose that path, and we've been fortunate to, just have really good clients, really good, and our teams are amazing. We just kind of, set the expectation from the beginning, just keep open lines of communication and a trustworthy teams that have been with me since day one. So it works.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then I really get, from looking at your things we found about Candid Services, and then just what we've talked about here, that you really value your team. I mean, you've had kind of your original team here for 14 years or so. A lot of builders really struggle with kind of finding recruiting, definitely these days retaining team. I mean, there's a real shortage of labor, as we all know. For someone who's kind of struggling with that, I mean, what are a couple of ideas? I mean, it's been a long time, sounds like, since you recruited. What are a couple of ideas for retaining team for, over a decade, so they're happy and they show up and they represent your work really well?
It's to make sure that they know that they're valued. And
Mm.
whenever you get really busy, especially as an owner and stuff, you tend to like step back and lose yourself and the rest of it. But I make it a point that I'm still the face. So I'll still show up with like tacos and stuff and ask them about their families and their kids because we can't do this alone. Like I'm not out there, renovating into anything. Like I'm
Uh-huh.
just fortunate enough to know the right people. So I'm not ever forgetting about them. I'm putting all of my time and energy into making sure that they know that they are not replaceable. Like, please don't forget about me. Oh my gosh. So it's really, and making them a party and just just like small things go a very long way, and just making sure that they know, even as the company, that doesn't mean that they're no longer seen, because it was really hard pill from your first million to going into, 8, 9, 10, 12. Like, you get completely busy and lost in the shuffle,
Wow.
but your teams, you cannot forget about them. They are literally the ones who are going to make or break you. So,
Incredible.
yeah.
Beautiful. So we talked about you're also a pretty serious real estate investor. You have, in the Austin area, which, it has really, it's just absolute hotbed of tech, and, has seen a huge kind of spike in property values and things. It looks like you've been doing this for a while. So you have long-term rentals, you have Airbnbs, you just closed on a huge multi-family building with a partner. Tell me about how the work that you do with kind of remodeling and construction and stuff kind of dovetails into your real estate investing, and how does that work for you?
Well, it's so much easier, especially for investors and stuff, to know that, doing this a long time. So making sure that we get everything done, not only in a definitely within budget, is key at this point, because, everything is just all over the place, and we have that kind of built in. So we've been doing pretty good so far. I think that is really what kind of sets us apart right now, because we make sure that, we over deliver and under promise. So that's just a big thing of mine, just setting expectations from the beginning and surpassing things. So I'm never
Fantastic.
over promising anything.
Hey, you talked about that a little bit in the when we chatted before our call. So, for instance, if you're doing a project and it's maybe going to take a week and you can get it knocked out in a week, you might tell someone, well, it's going to take maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, or at least kind of set that expectation, and so that you're kind of under promising the time it's going to take, and then over deliver, you're showing up and getting that knocked out in a week, which makes everybody feel great. It makes the homeowner or the commercial building owner feel great, makes your team feel great, makes everyone feel just sharp and on it. It seems like that's kind of one of your values is to under promise and over deliver.
100%, because you can't really, it's construction. You cannot, and it's redevelopment. So you really don't know what's going on. So if you're like, I know this will take me a week, and then you open it up and you have to refresh absolutely everything, it's not going to take you a week. So you want to account for those little things. And yeah, since I started, one thing that would make me more upset than anything is for somebody to tell me, it's going to take me a week to do this. And I'm like, great, that's what I'm going to pass on. And then here we are 2 weeks in, and you're still not done. Now I'm completely upset, and I will never go to you again, because what asset any of us have wasting anyone's time. So yeah.
Got it. And then, you've got a big family. You have 4 kids. How do you balance it? I'm not even sure if there is a balance. I think we talked about this. Well, it's not necessarily a balance. It's tough. How do you balance having four kids and having a serious redevelopment, commercial redevelopment company, and doing real estate and having these investors? How do you do that?
That is the hardest thing. But just to be completely honest, like there's just there's never going to be a happy like a balance. That doesn't exist. When I'm kicking butt in one area, I'm really sucking in the other, and vice versa. If I'm knocking out a deal and having to put out a fire in a flood, then I'm missing my boys' soccer game. If I'm at the soccer game, then I'm not paying attention to be falling behind. So it's just a lot of forgiveness more than anything, because you have to be able to, just keep on going, because there's no time to sit there and dwell on spilled milk. So you just kind of keep rolling with the punches, and as best you can to give everything that allocated of time. But the longer that I'm in business, the buy my time back. So that's much the goal. But until, we just kind of got to accept it for what it is, So all we can do is try.
That is amazing. So Miriam, what an incredible story. You're doing an incredible amount of amazing things here. There's other things, you own a few fitness studios. Can I ask, are you a part of different masterminds? And what type of education, and how do you kind of network? But let me just ask about the education piece, because I get the sense that maybe this is important to you at different levels. We haven't talked about this at all, but I mean, do you have a formalized way that you kind of network with folks and or any kind of masterminds that you're a part of, or coaching programs, any of that kind of thing at all?
Completely weird. I've never had a partner until recently. I've always kind of just a lot of self-help. So when I was in fee management, I climbed up the corporate ladder really early. And so I just self-taught a lot, and I try to put myself, but being a mom and working full time and all of that, that wasn't going to work. So I just,
Uh-huh.
my MBA was like the first book that I fell in love with. And that kind of taught me all the initial things that I needed. Then I started to follow the Rockefeller way. That taught me a lot of things that I needed. And then I just all the way in and just made decisions really, really fast because there's no time to wait. And that's when you get left behind. And I never stopped. Like now that I have the privilege of being in different rooms with different successful people, now to change, but I didn't have any of that. I'm first generation US citizen, and like it was just grit. So
That is awesome. Fantastic. Well, what an incredible story. Listen, if folks, I know you've got so much going on, you're very busy. I mean, are you open to taking a phone if someone wanted to just chat with you a little bit? I mean, can they give you a call? I mean, if they want to get in touch, how do you
absolutely. I want us all to let's all make it. Anyone
uh-huh.
has a dream, you can make it
Uh-huh.
happen. You just gotta be best, you gotta be
Yeah,
forgiving to yourself because you will fall, gotta get right back up and just like keep on going. And I think that's where most people fall short, like those, because it gets hard. No, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. You're going to be in your face and you're going to cry and you're going to want to give up. And you might like stand at the mountain and be like, I'm jumping. Just don't. It'll be okay. And just keep going. Forgive yourself and keep
that's
going.
incredible. So just to kind of to summarize here, we're talking with Miriam Mejia, first generation American in Austin. Family, 4 kids, started Candid Services here 14 years ago or so. Doing some residential, got into commercial. Has been able to maintain. Has done the kind of impossible, maintained her teams all of this time. Serious real estate investor, a lot of rentals, and now multi-hundred unit, multi-family building, $8 to $10 million, construction company. Guys, I mean, you can do it, right? It's and
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have the benefit, I have the great fortune of talking with some incredibly smart, driven people, and it's just so inspiring to me. And hearing Miriam's story today, I mean, I knew this was going to be amazing. And Haley had told me, listen, this is going to be fun, and sure enough, it is so great. Miriam, if folks want to, if they have a commercial building space and they're looking for some help with getting some commercial work done, if they're a real estate investor, if they're interested in the Austin area and want to, learn a little bit more and or even potentially partner up somehow at some level or another, what are a couple of great ways to get in touch with you?
They can email me, they can call me. I'm an open book. I'm everywhere. So
Okay.
I'm always open to it. I might not answer your call right away, but I will always get back to everyone. Like, hey, that's why we're here, right? It's the American dream. Whatever you want, you just got to go for it, not
Absolutely.
give up. It's not
Absolutely.
easy.
And so beautiful. And so the best email address for you, what would that be?
Miriam at candidservicesllc.com.
Okay. So that's Miriam, Miriam at candidservicesllc.com. Fantastic. Well, folks, get in touch with Miriam if you'd like to really learn some amazing, just how to do it all as a young mom of many kids. It's an incredible success story. Thank you, Miriam, for being on the show today. It's been really great. I'm going to listen to this again and take more notes as I've been here while we've been talking. And we would absolutely love to have you on the show at some point in the future if you're willing.
Of course. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, take care and have a
Thanks.
great rest of your day.
All right. You too.